Hey, what's cracking, fellas? It is Thursday, the 24th of September. We are entering Showdown NFL number 3 of the year for Thursday night. But that doesn't change the fact that we still got Thursday football to talk about. Went through the slate with all the customers already. Let's talk to you guys about what it is we can do to try to win some money this evening, fellas.
Let's get it.
All right, so let's get this started. As we have been talking about nonstop the last couple days, the new overlay matchup shop. Yesterday we talked about Glasnow, Margavicius, and wanting to combo them together on a parlay. Both paid off very, very handsomely. I would encourage you, if you haven't been watching the overlay videos yet, this new aspect to the website is amazing. Get on it, take a whirl. For y'all who bet sports, like my degenerate friend here, Bellman, this is something that's really going to appeal to you. If you have not played on overlay yet, this matchup shop is for real. Get on it. And if you make an initial deposit, we will give you a free membership to the 5-pack. $50 deposit 2 weeks, $100 deposit month, $500 deposit a free annual membership, and $1,000 deposit a free lifetime membership. Show that deposit, screenshot it, send it to me, and I will hook you up. Let's go win some money because we continue to profit on overlay. It seems like stealing some days.
Let's get it.
All right, guys. Day passes are also up. All memberships available through the website. Click the thumbs up button if you don't mind. Subscribe to the station if you're new to it. We got a couple of pitches on the forefront tonight, but we're gonna switch it up. Last night we took the low hanging fruit with Bieber. Today we're gonna go down to what we consider to be the best SP2 option. Favorite cheap guy of the day. That is Chris Bubich, or Bubich, however it's pronounced, of the Kansas City Royals. At $6,600, he faces one of the worst teams in baseball, the Detroit Tigers. He's at home tonight in one of the top pitching parks in the entire Major League Baseball. He's really only had one truly terrible start all year. He's got a few single-digit performances mixed in there. But on 6,600, if it allows you to pay up for bats and you get your SP1 right, you can still find a way to do damage with a less than stellar start. Only one really bad game. And he's coming off a nice month where he's coming off of 4 straight solid starts. Makes a lot of sense to us.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. There's another SP we like a lot on this slate that will be pretty obvious to anyone who looks at it. Bubich is a nice pairing, very affordable price point. You got me on him last start. Was very good against the Brewers. Excuse me. Just a really just rock solid SP2 look. Doesn't mean he's definitely going to pitch well because we know these young guys can get hit from time to time. But he's got good stuff. He's a guy that hadn't pitched above single A before the start of the year. Has seemed like he's gotten better as the years progressed. I like him quite a bit here.
Next up, let's talk about some of the offenses. So, talking through this one with you, the Red Sox stack is setting up to be relatively popular today for some of the obvious reasons. There aren't a lot of gas cans on this slate, but Alex Cobb's a guy we don't mind picking on at all. You've been calling out J.D. Martinez the last couple of bad season. There's a bunch of good players who have had bad seasons, but over the last week or so, he's looking like the J.D. Martinez that I've always known and loved. Oddly enough, I've been the JD guy, but you've really put me on him the last couple of days. He's playing well. He's extremely affordable for the upside that he offers at 4,300. And he's got a pretty good sample size of success off of Cobb, going 11 to 22 with 6 extra base hits.
Yeah, it's hard not to like those numbers against Cobb. JD's just still very, very affordable for his upside. Not having a great year, we know, but he's starting to look like himself as the year, winds down. I think if you like Boston, it's hard not to like Martinez here. He's wildly in play, and the stack is a one-off, all formats.
All right, next up, let's take a look at my Milwaukee Brewers. This is a price play. We don't want to sugarcoat it any more than it is. It's a price play. Avisel Garcia is another guy, not having a great season, but because Milwaukee's offense isn't great, he's about the best option that we have to play leadoff, and he's been batting leadoff a lot. With Kim on the mound tonight, we both fully expect him to be thrust into the leadoff position tonight. He's only 2,400. Had a solid night last night. A couple of 3 hits, actually. Like I said, did we mention he's 2,400? He's better than he's played this year. And even though he's been getting caught because he's not significantly faster than most of you watching this show, he has been trying to steal bases. Not saying he'll try tonight, and not saying he'll be successful if he does. But you got to like the fact that he's at least attempting to steal bases.
Hell yeah. It's also a breath of fresh air for a Milwaukee team that just got dominated by Bauer. Kim's been good this year, but he's certainly no Bauer. Whether you like Milwaukee as a stack or not, he just makes sense as a nice filler piece. This is the type of play where you wish there were 2 elite pitching options in play because it'd just be so easy to get there.
Speaking of guys that make speaking of guys that make expensive players easy to get into your lineup, check out Franchy Cordero. I'm assuming he'll fly a little bit under the radar tonight, depending on where he is in the batting order. He's been out for a while, but he came back with that thunderstick last night, homering twice. Obviously, we're not scared at all of the Tigers pitching. I'm not sure how popular he'll be. What do you think about that?
I don't think he's going to be very popular at all, especially if he's at like the bottom of the lineup. If he's in the top or, top third or in the middle, then he'll probably get more love. He's very affordable. But again, not a slate where you need, a ton of cheap guys with expensive pitching. There's also cheap guys all over the place. So he'll get some love, but definitely not, overwhelming chalk or anything like that. And man, it kind of gets me juiced that you brought him up because you know how I feel about him.
Yes, you do. A little bit of a man crush right there. He's got big power.
Massive power. He's one of these guys that came from San Diego. They just had a glut of outfielders. So I think this could be a sneaky upside pickup for the Royals.
All right, last up. So we brought up some cheap guys. We're going to bring up one expensive player that you can pair with him, and that's Cody Bellinger of the Los Angeles Dodgers. Pretty sure you guys know who he is. Coming off his MVP season, it's been a bad year. I feel like we've spent a lot of time talking about these guys the last couple of days, whether it's Rizzo yesterday, Ketel Marte, my boy Christian Yelich. There's a lot of guys, JD Martinez, who we brought up today, who are really good but have not had great years. And Bellinger's had a rough follow-up to his MVP season. What I will say about him, though, he is starting to round into form coming up to the playoffs for the Los Angeles Dodgers. He's got 7+ DK points in 6 straight games. Even though it has not been a great 2020 for him, he's still one of the higher upside plays in baseball with elite power. He's also very fast and has the ability to steal bases. Stolen base numbers are down this year because he hasn't been on base as much as you would like, but he owns massive upside on any given slate. Now, Mike Fiers is not a quote-unquote gas can. However, he's also not one of the stronger pitchers on this slate, so we don't mind picking one of the best players in baseball on the best team in baseball against one of the worst pitchers on the slate.
Yeah, so again, you mentioned it earlier in the video. There aren't many gas cans on this slate, so there aren't too many pitchers that jump out as like you have to pick on them. Fiers is one of the guys that kind of does stand out as a guy we know and has been that we've known to give up big home runs before. And the Dodgers are just the best offense pretty much any day they play, so it matches up well. You'd expect the Dodgers to get a lot more love as a stack if they were more affordable. They're not, so I think as a full stack, you'll get them maybe a little bit less owned than they should be. I think Bellinger is both our favorite pieces, though. He's finally starting to round into form. Good time for that for sure going into the playoffs. He's a guy that's been running too. Big power upside. I hope people stay away from him at 5,800. And I do love the call that he can play first because we've got a ton of cheap plays in the outfield that are at our disposal.
Yeah, that helps a lot for rostering construction this evening. If you're looking to salary, high-end players like this, the cheap guys are more readily available in the outfield, so moving him to first base helps. Now, again, you're going to be able to afford at least one high-priced player tonight if you want him. If you prefer Mookie or Betts or Corey Seager, you have every reason to prefer those Los Angeles Dodgers over Bellinger. We like Bellinger, but I won't sit here and tell you that National League potential MVP Mookie Betts or Corey Seager is not also a really good play. This just happens to be one of the guys we're picking up.
Agreed.
All right, guys, that's what we got for today. Thank you very much for watching. We'll be coming live with some matchup shop stuff here for overlay here momentarily. Get those deposits in, send us some screenshots so we can offer you a free membership, and let's go win some money today.
Thanks, guys.